is Christina Roabrts, and I'm here to talk about Newfiki, a celebration of East European culture in Newfoundland and Labrador. Now, this was part of a project where during a time when I was still a student at Memorial University at the Department of Folklore. Oh, good, the timer works. Sorry about that. Anyways, and I had to complete 2 internships, just like Nicole did, and this was part of my second internship, and it was with Dale Jarvis and HFNL. Now, you're probably wondering, what is this word Newfiki? Well, to break it down, the first half, Newf, comes from the word Newfoundland, while Fiki is a common ending in Russian which helps to make diminutive forms of nouns. So it's kind of a fun way to talk about Newfoundlanders who speak Russian. But of course, it's important to note that this project just does not only focus on Russian speakers, as I will explain. So now, when most people think about the culture of Newfoundland and Labrador, they think about Jake's dinner, Houghton's, and salt fish. But rarely do they ever think about cabbage rolls, Czech gingerbread, and sauerkraut. Immigrant culture is an important part of our community that often goes unnoticed. And here in Newfoundland, there is a strong international community which is slowly growing. Which then leads us to the reason behind Newfiki coming up. This project, as I said, was a collaboration between Dr. Maria Lezev at Memorial University and the Heritage Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador. Dr. Maria was working on a research project entitled Between Two Worlds, New Diaspora Groups with Their Folklore. She was interested to learn how folklore helps new Canadians to both support and recreate their old home land to establish new Canadian identities, and as well to contribute to a deeper understanding of new immigrant communities by a larger Canadian society. So therefore, the project focused on diaspora groups established by recent immigrants to Canada from the former Eastern Europe socialist bloc. These countries included Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, Moldova, Belarus, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, Slovakia, and Poland, just to name a few. It concentrated on the ways newcomers respond and contribute to their new locations, creating a sense of belonging and identity. A particular focus was placed on the ways new immigrants selectively maintained while simultaneously absorbing the values and ideals of Canadian society. This can be through the form of stories or any other means of cultural expression like music, poetry, and objects. So part of my job as HFNL's public folklore intern was to conduct interviews with East Europeans living in Newfoundland and Labrador. Of course, we did just not limit ourselves to new Canadians, but we also included a few first-generation born Canadians. In total, we had about 16 to 20 interviews, and the interviews focused on the informant's personal background, and we asked questions like when and why they came to Canada, what was their reaction to Canada, what they liked or didn't like about Canada, the ways they maintained their culture and traditions through such things as holidays, food, music, and objects, how often they kept in contact with back home and their means of communication, and finally, whether or not they have ever gone back home to their home country, and if so, what was their reaction to this experience. It's important to note that these individuals come from different East European countries, so therefore they have different culture and traditions, but would probably have not interacted with each other if they were living in their home country. And all of the informants have unique circumstances for coming to Canada. Some came to Canada for a better life for themselves and their family, since the circumstances in their home country were probably not the greatest. And some were deported due to the political conditions of their country and had the only option of moving to Canada as a refugee. In addition, each person adapted to their new Canadian environment differently. Some chose to maintain their cultures and traditions, while others may choose to fully assimilate into Canadian culture. However, needless to say, that being said, there are some similarities to their answers, and all share their life experience as new Canadians living in Newfoundland and Labrador. So what we did with the interviews after they were done, these interviews, along with any of the pictures, were then later added to Memorial University's Digital Archive Initiative. So if you want to go listen to them, they're up on the website, I do believe so now. Along with our second part, which is the second part of the project, which was we planned events around Multiculturalism Week. On March 20th, we had a World Storytelling Day, where on that night, the Rooms hosted an evening of storytelling, where Dr. Maria Lezev interviewed new Canadians on stage and talked in a show-style session on their personal experiences of becoming new Canadians. Then on the second night, which was March 22nd, we organized a cultural concert night, which celebrated music, song, story, poetry, and food, allowing people to experience various aspects of different cultures. Participants were from Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, Moldova, Belarus, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, Slovakia, and Poland. So we had Russian guys singing romantic Russian opera, we had a family and one other guy playing Ukrainian music. We had people selling perniki, decorated ceramic eggs, cabbage rolls, and various other desserts. And then finally, we had held a workshop on March 23rd where people could come and be taught how to make pierogies from Dr. Maria Lezev, who took participants through a step-by-step making process of cheese and onion-flavored pierogies. Overall, our goal was to build, with the research and events, to build between communities and promote their intercultural understanding and promote a part of our community which was rarely thought of existing. Rejuvenated interest in cultures and traditions, injected new life into the immigrant communities. And let me tell you, after the event, all the different people, so I had people from Russia, I had people from Ukraine kept on coming to me, they're like, we have a new community, I've met people that I never even heard of, and now we're best friends. So it was able to bring people together that not normally would have been brought together. And it also allows us to create a new space in the public discourse and introduce our children to unfamiliar cultural identities and traditions. So overall, we felt that the festival and these events were well received and everybody liked it. So that's it.